And then we have the anaerobic energy system. This is a super fast way to produce ATP, that energy currency. And that's why we utilize it, in times where we're doing super hard, short efforts and we need energy as fast as possible. The process of producing energy or ATP within the mitochondria is a slow process. Like, although it produces a lot, it does take a little while. You got to break those fats or proteins or glucose down and then get oxygen converted into water and of usable form. It's just a bit slower. Whereas if we convert glucose into lactate, there's a very fast process, but it only produces 2 ATP. And part of the reason it's fast is because it's outside of the mitochondria and doesn't require oxygen. So we can get it kind of like that. But it does create lactate and the associated decrease in pH or increase in acidity with the increase in hydrogen ions that are required to export lactate out.
Yeah, and we all know that burning feeling, and we associate that with lactate, but lactate can actually be converted back to energy if we're really developed in that area. So lactate isn't our worst enemy, but the acidity is what we feel, and that doesn't feel very good, and that's what makes us slow down.
Yeah, and just like a bit of an aside there, lactate gets a bad rap because it references the acidity because we can measure it in the blood. A lot of us have probably done lactate tests or seen lactate tests being performed, and it just gives an association or reference point for anaerobic metabolism. It doesn't directly correlate to the burning sensation in your legs. It's not all lactate's fault. There's a lot of other metabolic processes going on there that causes that.
Dr. Matt and I started the Performance Advantage podcast to help runners, riders, and outdoor competitors integrate sports science more effectively into their training and racing.
So over the last few years, Dr. Will and I have covered topics like the lactate threshold, training zones, power meters, and fatigue. Now we're condensing these popular and misunderstood topics into practical courses.
Our courses take our same podcasting style approach to learning and education, and we break it down into bite-sized chunks that you can digest either all at once or as practical little resources to use as and when you need them.
So the biggest difference between our course and any other course you might have taken is that we don't lecture you. It's a conversation between Will and I, and we're explaining complex sports science principles in an easy to understand manner.
Yeah, we also integrate how we use them on the regular. Our courses come with a certificate of completion as well as a lot of takeaway resources such as training plans, scientific articles, and quizzes that you can do to check your progress along the way.
Our sports science courses are available now. Register on performanceadvantagepodcast.com for immediate access.